Hello, hello. Alex here with another fantastic music lesson from stepbystepmusic.com. Today we're going to focus on rhythms and specifically on triplets. And more specifically, we're going to be focusing on 8th note triplets, one of the confusing parts of music, of rhythms in music. We're going to unconfuse that. We're going to demystify that for you today and learn how to count to 3. You thought you knew how, but you might need a little bit of help. Today we're going to cover defining the 8th note triplet and looking at what it looks like on the page. We're going to give you a method for counting triplets. We're going to learn how to identify triplets by ear, which can be a little bit harder than it seems. It's easy to misidentify a triplet or to produce something that you feel like is a triplet, but it's not. So we're going to clear that up. And finally, we're going to look at how not to count triplets. Yes, we're going to learn how to count them, but we're going to learn, more importantly, how not to have to count them. So what is a triplet? The textbook definition of a triplet is 3 in the space of 2, which is probably thoroughly unhelpful. When we think of 2, in this case, we're going to think of 8th notes. If you have quarter notes, we're going to call that the beat, at least in 4/4 time. And for today, that's just going to be our beat. So if this is our beat, this is going to be a quarter note. And if you have 8th notes, that's going to be 2 in this space. Okay, you with me so far? So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's where the 8th note normally lives, on the downbeat and then again on the upbeat. The 8th note triplet means we're going to squeeze 3 equally spaced. That's key here. We're going to come back to this, but equally spaced within that beat. Here's what it looks like on the page. So here we have our quarter note. That's what our quarter note looks like. And that's the value of our beat. That's one of these. Here, we've taken 3 8th notes and we've squeezed them in to that 1 beat space. So wherever your beat is, say right there, we're going to have 3 of those. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what a triplet is. 3 notes squeezed in equally where 2 notes used to go. Or, more simply stated, just 3 notes equally spaced over a beat. So that tells us what a triplet is. Once we know what it is, we want to know how to keep track of it. So we do that by counting. And I don't know if we have 3 notes. What do you say we just count to 3? Now, there's lots of ways to do this. Counting to 3 is kind of how I do it. Some people say triplet, but what you basically need is 3 syllables, 3 things to represent each of those beats. I've heard butterfly, 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 whatever works for you. Today, I'm just going to use 1, 2, and 3 because everyone knows 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. Anyhow, we have 1, 2, and 3, and that's how we can count it. And I'm actually going to just focus in on this 1 beat here, examining that 1 beat, and we're just going to count that over and over. Let's get some drums going. So here's our beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or if you prefer on guitar, so I was playing an A on the bass, I'll play an A chord on the guitar. Let's hear 4 beats in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or on the piano. Doesn't matter. Works the same on every single instrument. Here's an A chord for you on the piano in triplets. Here we go. 4 beats in. And that is the easiest way to count triplets. Just count to 3 over and over, or say butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. Whatever you want. Go ahead and put in the comments. What do you like to use to count triplets? 3 syllables, any 3 syllables, almost any 3 syllables. So when it comes to identifying a triplet by ear, or even more challenging sometimes, producing a triplet on your own when you feel the need or when the need arises, it's not just 3 notes in a row. It's actually 4. And so that makes no sense at first, but let me explain. If you have just 3 notes, you don't know if it's a triplet. Let me show you. Okay, trick question, yes or no, is this a triplet? I gave you 3 notes. Should be enough. Is that 3 notes in the space of 2? I don't know. I don't know where the beat is. I don't know where the space of 2 should be. So we have to identify the beat before we know if it's a triplet. Here it is again. Okay, that could be one of 2 likely rhythms. Could be a triplet, but it might not be. Now we know these are triplets. Let me show you what's not a triplet. This is not a triplet. So what we have here is we have 3 notes in a row. We have 1, 2, and 3. However, these are not triplets. They are not equally spaced. Let's do a little comparison between these 2 beats. We're going to compare this beat with this beat. And actually, I'm going to chop these up into little sections for us. So this one is meant to be and is 3 equally spaced notes. So we see the distance here and the distance here and the distance here. These are all equal here. These are the same distance in time apart. Here, the division is actually right here. And we have 2 halves of the beat. Here we have 3/3 of the beat. We have the first third, the second third, the third third. Here, we've divided the beat in half. The first half of the beat has 2 notes, and the second half has the same value. So I could actually subdivide. These 2/16 are equal to this 8th. So my 16th note beats, these ones on the bottom here, they're going to sound like this. Again, let's take the beat and divide it into 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and. Then we're going to stick 2 16th notes within that first half of the beat. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Those are 3 notes in a row. But it's not till I get to my 4th note. This is where the 4-note thing comes in. This note right here closes out the last one. It tells me how far apart these are. Until then, I don't know if these are 3 equally spaced notes or if this note's going to last a little bit longer. It's that last 8th note lasting a little bit longer that shows us that these are 16th notes. Here, again, I have 3 equally spaced notes. And so this 4th note being the same distance from those shows me that it's a triplet. And so again, we have verses. So I could count these as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And a common mistake is to say that we have 3 notes in a row when it's actually 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What we're looking for is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that 3rd note in my 16th rhythm here, this 3rd note actually lasts a little longer. It's twice as long as these actually. So when I hear that note lasting extra long, I don't know how long that note is until I close it out, till I have this critical 4th note. Then I know whether I'm playing triplets or 16ths. So 3 notes in a row doesn't really tell you that you're playing 16ths. 3 notes in a row doesn't really tell you that you're playing triplets. So I need that 4th note. And here, I'll just call it beat 2. Right? I have 1, 2, 3, and then I have beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should mention here that because we're counting to 3 in a single beat to identify the triplet, we're also counting to 4 sometimes when I count the entire bar. So this is beat 1, this is beat 2, this is beat 3, and this is beat 4. So when I count us in, I'll be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm counting there is the beats of the measure, but we can also count the triplets. So as I'm counting for you, I just want to make sure that it's clear which I'm talking about. The beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, or the triplets, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. For this last part of our lesson, I want to give you the secret to playing all rhythms. First, you have to get the beat. So, back to our example of counting to 4. Here's our beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to feel that. You see where my head is nodding. Maybe you tap your foot. Maybe you clap your hands. Maybe you snap your fingers. Whatever you do, you need a physical expression of the beat. No matter what you're doing, that is step 1. Physically express the beat every time. Step 2 in mastering a rhythm or in producing a rhythm, playing along to a rhythm, is in generating what I call the underlying rhythm in here, in the depths of your musical soul. So the physical expression is a little bit easier, but there's an underlying rhythm as well. In this case, it's the triplet. That is the faster rhythm, faster than the beat, contained within the beat that you are responsible for. So there, you have to feel that. Now, we can get there by counting to 3. And this is why I said it's important to learn to count, but by feeling it, we don't have to count. And that makes us much, much more powerful. Studying music, performing music, it's all about getting your brain to do, I don't know, like 74 different things at the same time. Fairly simple things. Counting to 3, counting to 4, tapping your foot, moving your fingers, often one finger at a time, sometimes multiple fingers at one time. The point is that we're doing a lot of things, and often we don't realize how difficult it is, how taxing it is on the brain to ask it to process all that information at once. So what we need to do is put as much as we can on autopilot. You cannot perform at your highest level if you're having to count to 3 for every single beat. So, yes, count to 3, identify the triplet, learn to feel that beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's bring those drums back in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, I want you to be able to count that, but as we layer on more and more skills, I want you to be able to feel it ingrained so that you can produce it without having to count it. And that's how you play every rhythm. On the 16th note level, there are 4 notes within every beat. And so your sub-rhythm, your underlying rhythm, is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or more commonly counted as 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and so you generate that first. But for this one, if I generate the 16ths, that's not going to work. I need to generate triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I'll be locked in and ready to free flow, having more of my brain available to make good musical choices. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the deal with triplets. Learn to identify them, learn to count them, don't confuse them with a group of 16th notes or 2 16ths and an 8th. And most importantly, learn to feel them. Drop the counting as soon as you can, feel the beat, feel the triplet, and let the music flow from there. As always, you can put your comments in the comment section below, or you can visit me at stepbystepmusic.com to book lessons with me. And thanks for watching.